We're just days away from the official opening of the Obama Presidential Center, but not everyone is ecstatic about the Jackson Park development. Some Southside residents living near the campus have been concerned about displacement and gentrification ever since the center's location was announced. Even with ordinances in place meant to prevent current residents from being forced out, advocates argue the protections don't go far enough. Joining us to discuss the issue are Shannon Bennett, Executive Director of the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization, Hardin, member of the Obama Community Benefits Agreement Coalition, and Romeo, Executive Director of Southside Together. We thank you all for joining us. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So I'd like to get your reaction just all these years ago when you first learned that the Obama Presidential Center was coming to Jackson Park. Shannon Bennett?
Well, like a lot of folk who've been long-term residents in the area and the community surrounding that area, that center, we were concerned about the process, about how the actual thing came about. So when we talked about it, we talked about, wait a minute, we need to make sure something is in writing. So we came up with the process of a community benefits agreement, which is known and used worldwide when major developments or activities impact local communities. The residents need to have a say in things like housing, economic development, education. There's right across the street from Hyde Park High School. So we rolled our sleeves up, and for years we've held town hall meetings with hundreds of residents. We've continued to get input on what we wanted.
Yeah, and what has that experience been like, talking with folks in the communities around the center?
It's been very enlightening. A lot of people are experiencing, the higher cost of like property taxes, which means rent is going to be also increasing, and just like, the challenges that come through new development, especially large-scale development.
Yeah, how about that, Romeo? The reaction you heard from folks and your own reaction, indeed.
Yeah, like overall, folks are not against the center, but how do we make sure that the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, Cook County are doing things to make sure that this center doesn't turn into like Disneyland, right? It doesn't replicate what the Clinton Presidential Library did in New York, where it gentrified a black neighborhood, right? How do all the folks who made the first black president the black president get to stay and benefit from the center?
Yeah, Shannon Bennett, you mentioned rolling up your sleeves, all these listening sessions, all the work that you did. When you were, putting together that community benefits agreement, calling for that with the center, what were people interested in seeing in such an agreement?
They were interested in making sure the City of Chicago, the University of Chicago, and the Obama Foundation put some skin in the game. By skin in the game, we meant commit to what you heard coming from communities as solutions against displacement. Displacement is always the concern of the folk that have usually their voices are marginalized. So they were asking for what happens to Hyde Park High School. They were talking about what happens to long-term renters who are tenants and who've been really active in this fight, saying we want to stay, but we know if our homes are where we live, the taxes go up, our rent's going to go up. So we've heard large increases in rent already. So we really have heard from the people about solutions, because we didn't just complain. We thought about it, we strategized. This could fix it, freeze the taxes. Talk about rent control.
Concrete plans.
Yes.
Romeo, what kind of reaction have you gotten from Obama Foundation officials?
Well, initially, pre-me being involved, I know the coalition, we were trying to get that actual, as Shannon mentioned, the actual CBA, and the foundation didn't commit to that. However, what we have been able to do is really organize to make sure the city council has now passed 2 ordinances for housing protections in the area. The most recent one, the Jackson Park Housing Pilot Ordinance, covers all of Woodlawn, nice portion of South Shore, and also Greater Grand Crossing. And it has things in there like, we got 84 city-owned vacant lots that have been set up for affordable housing development, both ownership and rental. Some of them, like on 630 Maryland, Park Station's already been developed, right? But we need more of those developments to happen. And in particular, we got a plethora of tenant protections like expanded fair notice, amongst a tenant opportunity to purchase, to give people the opportunity to purchase the building if it is going to be sold, and also to get fair notice if they're going to know if their building's going to be sold or have rent increases.
Yeah, Hardin, how about those efforts from the city council? What was your reaction to being able to get that kind of support from older people?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was.
I hear a but coming.
Yeah, no, there's no but. It was great to be able to be supported, but there's still more work to come. I guess there is a but. There are still things that need to be installed, like a rental registry and things like that.
Yeah, what rental registry? Any other major items that you think need to happen?
Outside of rent control.
It's a major.
Of course, it's a state issue. Yes.
Yes.
And do you feel like there is, with the local representatives, the folks on the council, that there is an understanding of why these issues are important?
Yes, I think that housing across the board is a thing that Chicago is focusing on right now. The affordability is increasing across the city, and I think that all of the orders are experiencing some level of support needing to happen.
Absolutely. So data from the DePaul Institute for Housing Studies, it shows investors have been buying up larger shares of property in South Shore than in surrounding communities. A report from 2023 says of 141 single-family homes, close to 40% were sold to these business buyers. Shannon Bennett, is that something that the community should be concerned about?
Very concerning, because you take away local control, you take away folks' right to reside where they desire to reside, and we don't know who these entities are. So that's where government and residents and citizens partner, because we see our elected officials as possible partners. But that's what we have to guard against, land banking. It happened when Chicago was announcing their bid for the 2016 Olympics. And our organization, Kenwood Oakland Community Organization, along with others, we fought for CBA at that time. We got a memorandum of understanding to protect in case we had got that bid. But it's the same thing that always happens to our community. If we're not in the room, we're on the menu.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
There was also some reporting from the Illinois Answers Project that said some of these anti-displacement efforts put in place by the City Council, haven't all lived up to expectations or haven't all done as much as they could, that some people are, in fact, being displaced. Kiara Hardin, is that something that you've seen? How have you seen the community change?
Yes, absolutely. I think that significant change would include like the pricing of housing. When I purchased my house, it was a very reasonable price, and now literally a block away from me, you have a house that's like $800,000. Who is that house for? Right. Who is not for the people that live there currently?
Yeah. How about that, Dixon Romeo? Seeing the acceleration of displacement, gentrification.
Yeah, I think the original the Illinois Answers piece was about the 2020 Woodlawn Housing Preservation Ordinance, and a lot of that we did get augmented and strengthened in the 2025 ordinance, which again is we're continuing to do that work, but ultimately. The Lightfoot administration had proposed, and we took a compromise on some public-private partnerships that didn't pan out, right? And so that is why I think our impetus on the city not putting money into quantum facilities and data centers, but putting it into 63rd and Blackstone, developing that so there's affordable housing for folks in the neighborhood, putting that into making sure all of us can benefit from something that isn't sucking up the energy out of the neighborhood like the Obama Center. Instead, it's going to we're having debates about how much money we should give the Bears when we have Chicagoans getting evicted. South Shore is the #1 eviction neighborhood in the city still, and that's only accelerating. And we're going to fight to stop it, but we're going to need the city to put some money into that and not into football.
With the Obama Center about to open, are there positive benefits that you hope that it can bring to the community, things you're looking forward to?
I think one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of folks who have had concerns about displacement, folks aren't complaining about it, they're showing up to our meetings, right? We have a CBA Summit June 27th at Bryn Mawr Church at 11 o'clock, and welcome all to attend. And we have hundreds of people, thousands of people come to events because folks know they need to step up. And when the city has had money come out, like in the Woodlawn Housing Preservation Ordinance, homeowners have blowing our number down, blowing the city down, and all that money got used up so quickly because folks know they need it. So one thing I'm seeing is that people are coming together and fighting to make sure they can stay.
I know the next Community Benefits Agreement Summit, it's slated for next week. Kiara Hardin, what's on the agenda for that one?
Conversations about what's to come, what we have achieved, the work that must continue, and what are we going to do to keep people in their homes.
Yeah. Just about 30 seconds left, but Shannon Bennett, what more are you looking for?
This is about generational, and it's also about folk who are indigenous residents being able to stay in place.
Yes.
So the next generations should be able to enjoy their neighborhoods first. And then if they choose to go to other amenities like the Obama Center, but their presence and their survival in their neighborhoods has to be top priority.
All right, well, it's been a conversation going on for many years. I know it's not done tonight, but it's all the time we have for right now. Shannon Bennett, Kiera Hardin, and Dixon Romeo, thank you all for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.